All right. Good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So this is our Ultimate Techniques of Top Producers series. If you've done Ultimate Launch, this is the second part of that series where in Ultimate Launch, hold on, let me shut this door. In Ultimate Launch, we discussed the basics of building your business. And we talked about all of the things that you should be doing before you are ready to launch your real estate career. So now that you have taken that 10-week course, thank you for everybody who hung on for all 10 weeks. Very important stuff. This is the second part of that series that teaches you how to put all of those measures in place and really auto drive your business. So all of that work in Ultimate Launch was not for naught. We're going to put that into play here in Ultimate Techniques. As always, we're keeping the training short because I know all of you are busy. You have lots of stuff to do, and 2 to 3 hour trainings are incredibly boring. So we like to try to keep these between 30 to 45 minutes at max. All right. So these are our table of contents in the 10 weeks of what we're going to be going over. We are on week 1, mindset and habits. Week 2, advanced lead generation. 3 is client communications. 4 is supercharging your branding. 5, advanced marketing strategies. 6 is leveraging tech and tools. Week 7, we'll be discussing building a strong network. Week 8 is financial budgeting and goal setting. Week 9, everybody's favorite, basics of team building. And week 10 is mentorship matters. We're going to be talking about being a mentee or maybe being a mentor, just depending on where you are in your business. And I will be sending this handout to everybody after the call here, so you will have all 10 weeks of material available for you. All right, so week 1, we talk about habits and mindsets. This is probably your most important lesson, habits and mindset. I tell all new pre-licensees that come to my office, I can teach you just about anything that has to do with real estate. We can teach you real estate basics. We can, talk about the laws and the regulations. We can talk about paperwork until we're blue in the face. We can teach you how to do marketing. We can teach you how to do showings, but what I can't do is change your mindset. And this is one of the most important foundations of any top producer. This is how top producers are made. You have to have the right mindset to run your business. And with the wrong mindset, you will crash and burn. So let's talk about some really great habits to have and ways to change your thinking so that you can stop being an agent and start being the CEO of your business. First thing is that in real estate, success is often attributed to just market knowledge and sales skills. But I can tell you as a former top producer myself is that mindset and good habits are 90% of real estate agents' struggles. So you need to understand and adapt to these practices, and it can propel your real estate career into a whole new direction. So a growth-oriented mindset. Top producers possess a growth-oriented mindset. They see every challenge as an opportunity for growth rather than a setback. This mindset drives them to continually improve their skills, embrace new strategies, and adapt to market changes. They understand that success in real estate requires ongoing learning and personal development. And not just training, not just showing up for the training, but personal development. Everybody on this call has reached some kind of road bump in their life, whether it's through your business or your personal life. I personally can attest that when I went through a divorce, because I was not in the right mindset, everything in my life felt like it was falling apart. When I was going through a divorce, I felt like a bad real estate agent. I felt like a bad mother. I felt like a bad daughter, a bad friend. And I probably was, because I was stuck in the wrong mindset. The minute that I kicked myself in my own butt, cleared my mind, and really started focusing on who I wanted to be in all aspects of my life, That's when my life really started to take off in the right direction. The same is true for real estate. It's so easy when a sale falls through, or we don't get that listing, or a buyer ends up buying with another agent, or maybe your neighbor who you've lived beside for 15 years lists with a competing company. It's so easy to get down on yourself and say, well, I just can't make anything right. But that's the wrong attitude to have. And because of that attitude, may be the reason why you lost the deal in the first place. So let's talk about some key practices. Embrace learning. So regularly attend workshops, seminars, and training sessions to stay up to date on industry trends and techniques. And you guys, every one of you on this call is doing exactly that. So congratulations. It's more about just learning. It's immersing yourself in real estate. It's about keeping on track, about leaning on others, and really putting yourself front and center into what you do and what you love. Even as a broker here, you guys see me leading the trainings, but to be honest with you, I'm on as many trainings as you see me leading them. So I do broker trainings just the same as anybody else, and I have to learn new things. I have to stay in it. I have to be immersed in it to be able to grow. Seek feedback. Actively seek constructive feedback from your clients, your peers, and your mentors to identify areas of improvement. Feedback is so important, even if it's negative. Sometimes we need negative feedback so that we can take a step away from ourselves and really say, okay, this is where I'm really strong, but this is also where I'm really weak. So if I know where I'm weak, I can improve my practices, change my habits, and really make that as my own goal to really be better at that one item. Maybe I'm really great at marketing. I take the best photos. I do the best description. Like, I know the MLS forward and backward, and I know the algorithms on Zillow, but my communication kind of sucks. And my clients are telling me, well, I really wish that I'd hear from you more often or know what's going on. Don't take that as a negative. Don't take that as a punch to the gut. Take that as an opportunity for growth and say, oh, well, maybe I need to put better measures in place to understand how my clients would like me to communicate. Even though I'm doing really good at marketing, my customer service is falling short because I'm not communicating with them enough. So this is how we learn, and this is how we grow. Set goals. Please, please, please set goals. I despise when I talk to somebody and I'm like, what are your goals this year? And they're like, oh, I don't like to set goals. I don't like to limit myself. That's a cop-out. Saying you don't like to limit yourself is a total cop-out. That's just called lazy. We all need goals. Nobody has ever gone on a diet and didn't have a goal weight. You will never talk to a woman that says, oh, I'm on a diet. Well, what's your goal? Oh, I don't have one. I don't have one. I don't want it to limit me. Nobody's ever said that. We go on a diet with the goal in mind that we're going to lose 10 pounds or 15 pounds or 20 pounds, whatever it is. Or I'm going to go on a diet because I want to be healthier. I want to have healthier skin. I want to have longer hair. I want my nails to be longer. Those are goals. We do that for everything. Don't cop out and not set goals for real estate, because then we don't know what we're working towards, and we don't know how to hold ourselves accountable if we're not hitting those goals. All right. So a positive and growth-oriented mindset is a common trait amongst top producing real estate agents. This mindset influences every aspect of their work, from how they approach challenges to how they interact with clients. And here's some of the reasons why having this type of mindset really does matter. One, it's going to help you overcome obstacles. So obstacles are completely inevitable in real estate. We know that. There's not a person on the earth that closes every deal on time, without problem, 365 days a year. Why? Because we are humans serving humans, and humans are not perfect. But understanding that obstacles will come and having the wherewithal within yourself to overcome them, because you know that they are going to occur, will make you or break you as a real estate agent. Do not be afraid of obstacles. Do not be afraid of confrontation. Do not be afraid to stand your ground, and do not be afraid to take criticism when you need it. Embrace change. So having this mindset will help you embrace change. Look at what we just went through last year with the NAR settlement and all the changes that came down the pike. A lot of agents left the industry because they could not embrace the change. And if you're on this call, it means you made it through. You embraced the change. It's like, hey, there's nothing we can do about it. The change is coming. We are either going to adapt or we're going to fold. What are our options? And you guys all adapted. So you embraced change. So continue to do that. Understand that the market changes every day. Clients change every day. Expectations change every day. Sometimes policies and procedures change. It's just part of life. Life never stays the same. Build positive relationships. So your mindset can help you build more positive relationships with other agents, with other vendors, with the network around you, with your community. Your mindset matters when building strong relationships. If you have a negative Debbie Downer, Eeyore personality, where it's like, oh, everything's so hard, I can't do this, nothing ever works for me, nobody's going to want to be around you. And then that makes your job 100 times harder. You're not going to be getting the support that you need from the people around you. You're not going to be getting those referrals. And quite frankly, your clients may just not like you. So having a positive mindset can help build stronger, lasting relationships and make your job easier. So how do we do this? How do we change the way that we are thinking? How do we wake up in the morning and just toss it all off and become somebody different? I just had a conversation with a newer agent, and I have this conversation a lot with new agents where, and I'm not going to name any names, but so, you know, when agents get into the business, one of the things they have is they're like, well, I'm not that person that puts myself out there. I'm not that person who, you know, goes to a party and just strikes up a conversation with people. That's okay. And it would surprise all of you that I'm not that person either. When I go home, I'm a person who doesn't want to go out. I don't want to like go out and force myself to make new friends. I would rather be at home with my dogs in my comfy clothes or out in the garden planting all by myself. I am more of an introvert kind of person at home. But I know that I have to have the mindset that when I get up in the morning, I am playing a part. I have a character to play. I have people depending on me and I need to produce income for my family. So I have decided that when I am at work, I am a very vibrant, very positive, very social person that I'm not at home. And that's okay. I get to be me at home. But when I go to work, I jump into character and I become who I need to be successful each and every day. Okay. So step one is set clear and achievable goals. You have to set goals. I know I just said it. I'm going to say it again. Set clear and achievable goals. Whatever those goals mean to you. If that goal means that you're going to list X amount of houses this year, then that's your goal. If it means that you're going to sell X amount of houses this year, then that's your goal. Maybe you don't have a numbers goal. Maybe you have a trait goal where it's like, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to be more self-motivated. And this is how I'm going to do it. So you need to set very clear, achievable goals and track your progress. Take that year goal and then bust that down into smaller goals. So I have this year goal. And by 6 months, this is what's going to occur. And then the last 6 months, this is what's going to occur. And then I'm going to break it down even more. In this quarter, this is my sub goal for each individual quarter. And then break it down again each month. So those are the type of goals that you want to go. You want to take a big picture and then start chunking it down into smaller, more achievable goals in shorter time periods. Number 2, develop a daily routine. This is so important. It is so easy for us as agents just to kind of like wait for the phone to ring, for somebody to tell us to do something. You know, we're not 9-to-5ers. Me, as your broker, I cannot force you to come into the office. I cannot force you to call your leads. I cannot force you to put your leads in your CRM and to drip campaign them. I cannot force you to do anything. I really can't. You guys are independent contractors. But being independent contractors means that you are business owners. So you need to start acting like business owners and develop that daily routine. And I know a lot of people on this call do that very, very well. But for those of you who are struggling getting into that, that routine every day, you have to develop that routine. You have to write it down and make it very intentional, and you have to stick to it and make yourself accountable. So think about your daily routine, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that coming up. Practice positive self-talk. Stop talking about yourself so negatively. Stop talking about yourself so negatively. And there is a couple people that do that. I can't do it. I'm not this. I'm not good at it. I'll never be able to. Stop using those words. Each and every person here can do anything that they want to. How do I know that? Because I wouldn't have hired any of you if I didn't think that from the very start. I don't want to hire people who can't. I only hire people that do and can. So practice positive self-talk. Focus on your strengths. Visualize your success, and that will help you achieve your goals. Number 4, manage stress effectively. Real estate is super high stress. Let's face it, life is super high stress. It's okay to take a step back and take a moment for yourself when you need to. Adjust your routine if you're too stressed out. Practice great work-life balance. And I mean that. Work-life balance is important. And if you're in a high-stress situation, it's okay to put the phone down, to stop talking, and just take a minute to breathe. The world is not going to end if you take 5 minutes just to settle your brain and settle your emotions and take a moment for yourself. All right, build a supportive network. You guys are all on this call. I see you guys chat on Slack. I see you guys at events. I think you all have a great supportive network. Lean on one another. This job is hard. Trust me, don't feel bad about reaching out to one of your colleagues, because I promise you they're going to need you in the future. We all do. None of us on this call are too proud to say that we need each other, and sometimes we need a little help. Reflect and adapt. So reflect on what you've done that's been really successful, and reflect on things that didn't go as planned. Talk to your mentor, talk to your friend, or talk to me about the situation, and we'll walk through it again together. All right, so now we're talking weekly goals. There's going to be a worksheet in here. This is your non-homework homework, because I can't tell you to do homework and nobody likes that word. But if you would like to, here's a list of a few goals that you can really start to put into play. These are goals that we really don't think about as goals as real estate professionals. When we talk about goals, we talk about how many transactions you're going to do, what's going to be your gross commission income, how many, what's the dollar value and what you're going to sell. That's all fine and good, but how do you get to those goals? So this is going to show you how to get to your goals. So what we should be doing each and every week is prospecting, follow-up, marketing, education, networking, administration, showing, and other. And your other can be something for work, and it could be something personal. It could be work-life balance. It could be making sure that you spend the time to have dinner interrupted. You shut off your phone with your family every day. It could be anything you want, anything that you think will help you reach your goals. Prospecting. For those of you who don't know, prospecting is the act of actively obtaining clients through whatever measure. Prospecting could be cold calling. It could be calling FSBOs, could be calling expireds, could be sending out postcards, could be door knocking, could be doing open houses. It could be anything. So write down a task that you want to do this week for prospecting. Follow-up is follow-up. We know what that is. Those are following up with clients and leads, giving them a call, sending them a text, sending them an email. Marketing. Marketing can be marketing your listing, hanging signs, doing open houses, doing a newspaper article, posting something on social media, doing a Facebook Live open house. That's all part of marketing. Education, you can put on there, attend a training and put a big check mark beside it because you've done that this week. You're on it now. Networking, network with others. And it doesn't mean you have to go to a networking event, but it does mean that you should be making a real connection with somebody else in the industry, whether that's one person or 10 people, but push yourself to meet somebody new once a week and have a real conversation with them and exchange contact information. Administrative work is catching up on your paperwork, on putting your new leads in your CRM so that you have them in your contacts. Maybe you're organizing or setting tasks. Showings, we all know what those are. You got to show to sell, and then put something down as other, whether that is another task for your work week or something that just brings you joy and makes you, feel like you're in a better mood when you wake up in the morning and you come to work, whatever that means to you. To me, it would be gardening. I put gardening in there because that just is good for my soul. So you will have this when we are off the call. So I challenge you to go ahead and fill it out and see what you can really obtain in a week. All right. When we talk about our goals, here are some things you can do for your income goals. And like I said, I never like to focus purely on income, but let's face it, we are all here to make money. So if you want to set up a yearly income goal, here's some calculations on doing that. Your yearly income divided by your average commission equals the number of transactions you need for the year. If you want to calculate your yearly showing goals, you can take that number above, the number of transactions, times the average number of homes shown per client. And that will tell you how many showings you need to do in a year to obtain that number of transactions. And that number of transactions helps you reach your yearly income. If you want to take it a step further, you can take your yearly connection goals. So take the number of transactions per year divided by your conversion rate. So your conversion rate is the percentage of leads that turn into closings, if you don't know that. If you don't know what that number is, you need to start tracking that because top producers do. I can tell you for the last 10 years what my conversion rate is and what the conversion rate of every member of my team has been. I track everything closely. And why do I do that? Because I need to know. I need to know at the beginning of the year what needs to be done to be able to reach our goals at the end of the year. I also use these numbers as a budgeting tool. And we are going to be talking about financing and budgeting coming up in the coming weeks because a top producer or a team leader has to be able to budget out their year. I have X amount of dollars that we're going to make. If we're going to make X amount of dollars, then I have X amount of budget for my marketing and lead gen. And how am I going to spend that? And how do I know that I'm just not flushing money down the toilet? We need to know our conversion rates. I need to know what I'm producing, what my conversion rates are, how many transactions I need to reach this goal, and how many showings need to be had from those leads. And I need to know that for each one of my agents too, to see if they're producing or not producing. If they're not producing, then something is wrong. I need to fix it. So I need to look elsewhere. Do they need training on lead conversion? Do they need training on communication? Do they need training on how to become their character for the day? Because their personality is not matching their sales goals. So as a top producing agent, this is information that you need to know. So if you're not tracking your leads, and by leads, I don't just mean Zillow leads. A lead is in any interaction with somebody new who is interested in buying, selling, renting, or unknown. Okay, so you should be tracking every time your phone rings. You should know who's calling, what you talked about, what their telephone number is, and what their goals are. Every time you get a Zillow lead, that needs to be registered. Every time you get a realtor lead, that needs to be registered. Every person that comes through your website, you should have a rolling list and the results of that lead so you can calculate numbers like this. And that's going to be super important as you grow. All right, so sales goals. What I also like you to do is put your benchmarks there for the year. You want to know how many connections you need to be able to reach your goals, how many showings from those connections need to be had, how many transactions there's going to be from those showings, what the GCI is. If you don't know what GCI is, it's gross commission income. So your GCI off of those transactions, what your net CI is, your net CI is your net commission income, which means the amount of money that you take home after your expenses. You're going to want to know how many of those people are going to be family members, personal referrals, anything like that. Okay, so set your sales goals, and then there's always another spot because you may have something that's imperative to you. But this is going to be important as we're building this out, as you're learning how to really track your numbers like a business owner and stop kind of like flying by the seat of your pants. And I know we all do it. I did it for years. We don't want you to just fly by the seat of your pants, because then your income is not, then you can't track your income. You don't know what's coming because you're just taking what comes. You're grabbing the low hanging fruit because you don't have the foundation underneath you, and you're not running your business because you don't have the right mindset. All right, so next is time blocking. Something that's super, super important for anybody who works on their own is time blocking. Time blocking helps you by reducing feeling overwhelmed and being very stressed. It enhances focus and productivity, encourages mindfulness. So one of the biggest things that we have is kind of like you're sitting at home, you know that there's 1,000 things that you need to do. You don't know where to start first, and just nothing gets done. Nothing gets done because you don't have it blocked out. You don't have it in order. Nobody's telling you what to do. So time blocking can be really beneficial for you. I know that Rebecca does a lot of time blocking. We've talked about it before. I'm going to pick on Rebecca. She's on the call. But she gets really good at time blocking. She blocks out exactly what she's going to do and when and what's going to happen in that block of time. And there's lots of different ways that you can time block. So however you do it just needs to be right for you. And what I do is I set appointments in my calendar as if I'm meeting people. So if you look at my calendar, it may say from 9 to 10, I'm going to follow up. And follow up may mean I'm checking through my text messages, making sure I got back to everybody. I'm in Slack. I'm answering any questions. I'm calling back vendors who have left me messages overnight or when I'm on my appointments. From 9 to 10, I'm doing my follow-up. And then first thing in the morning, I do a to-do list. This is my to-do list for today. I do one every day. It's my to-do list. And then from 10 to 11, I may start on my to-do list, and then I'll say to-do list items. From 12 to 1, I have lunch blocked off in my calendar each and every day. That's all I do is I take a minute to de-stress. I put on, believe it or not, Dr. Phil. If you guys know, you know. I put on Dr. Phil. I eat my lunch. I do not answer calls unless it's an emergency. I do not do any work. And I just take that time to relax my mind, de-stress. And whether that takes me the whole hour, which it never does, sometimes it takes me 20 minutes. And whenever I'm feeling right, then I jump back into my to-do list. And I do that until my time blocking of like 1:30, 2 o'clock is over. So that's just an example of time blocking and how you can really use that to be super productive in your workday. This helps me focus, especially with my ADD. I need to be able to focus on the tasks at hand and make sure I get them all done and that I'm doing the things that I need to do. So here's an example of top producing habits. And like I said, this is just an example. You need to build your plan around you and what your goals are and how your mind operates. So, but this is just an example. So Monday may be a planning and prospecting day. So in the morning, maybe you review your goals and set specific actionable objectives for the week. Then you do your prospecting calls. Then you do your lead follow-up. All right, then you have lunch. And in the afternoon, when you get back, you have a time block for market research. You're going to analyze market trends. You're going to run some CMAs. You're going to run demographics because you know you have listing appointments later in the week. Then you're going to do your content creation. Maybe you're going to update your blog posts, do some social media posts, and then you're going to round out your day with some lead generation because you know it's getting towards the end of the day. People are getting home from work. Maybe you're going to hit them on their drive and they have nothing else to do but chit chat with you. And if you know, the best time to call people is around 3 o'clock. So it's a great thing to do at the end of the day is around 3 and after. So you're going to make those calls and set up call expireds and maybe call some FSBOs. So this is an example of a Monday planning and prospecting day. Understand when you're doing time blocking, it doesn't have to be all one activity all day. You can break it up into different activities, but just for this training, we had it so that each day you were doing something different. How you do your time blocking, again, is totally up to you. But having specific tasks at specific parts of the day is really beneficial. So we'll have this example for you. You take it and you make it your own. All right, here's a little sheet that you can use to help you with your time blocking. So you can practice this by figuring out what activity you're going to do, what your start time is, and what your end time is. You can also do this on your Google Calendar, but writing it out on this worksheet really helps you kind of put pen to paper and figure out where you need to be in your day. Trust me, if you were clocking in for a 9 to 5, you don't clock in at your employer and your employer says, nah, well, I mean, you got lots to do, but you just do you. Like, that doesn't happen. There is a structure. There is a time frame. I expect this activity done by this time. I want this activity done by this time. I want this activity done by this time. And if you don't do it, what happens? You don't get paid, right? You no longer have a job. Well, understand the same is true in real estate. The only difference is that you'll be firing yourself. So you need to set up good habits from the start and stop treating it like a job and start treating it like a career. You are a business owner. And this is the mindset I want to get all of you guys in. Start treating your business like you are the CEO of your business and stop acting like an employee who has bad management. Because if you're not managing your time, it means that you are being a bad manager. All right. So put those habits into play ahead of time. All right. Questions, comments, anything, hit me. You guys are quiet. Don't make me sit here all alone. No? Okay. Well, week 2, next week, same time, same place, we are going to be going over advanced lead generation strategies. So we're going to be talking about leads, how to generate leads, where those leads come from, things you do with those leads, how to convert those leads, how to manage those leads, all things leads. So please join me next week, same time, same place. I'll be here even if you're not. So if you want to rewatch this training, it will be recorded. And again, look for the worksheet. It'll be coming all to your emails here just shortly. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you all. And like always, I'll be hanging on the call here after we are done in case any of you have any questions you didn't want to ask in the group. So feel free to hang back if you need me. But if not, have an amazing rest of your week. And thank you.